What's up, y'all? Welcome back and welcome, Jason.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back, guys, to another one of these. And today, not only are we officially announcing the winner of our giveaway contest. Again, big thanks to Jason for sponsoring that. I was forgetting the word. I was gonna say hosting. Without us even saying, if you're reading the subject title, then you already know which topic is the winner. But the G1 reissue, Optimus Prime, Walmart exclusive, I think. And the winner is, drum roll,
E-Money.
E-Money! I don't know why I'm acting a fool right now. But yeah, so congrats, E-Money. So if you're seeing this, message me or us somehow, anyhow, so we can get your details, your info, so we could send you this sweet Optimus Prime that Jason has given up. So your suggestion was, how do you feel about collecting multiple versions of the same character? Man, that's a okay. Before we get into it, I do want to say thanks again to everyone who commented and suggested topics. They're all great. It was really hard because it was almost like, a lot of times you do stuff like this and like, that's an easy, I don't want to use the word loser, but that's an easy no-win right there. That one. And then, but then there's this one that's really good. They were all really good, and honestly, we can't wait to actually get to all of them. But this was just, and it was a hard choice. It was like everyone was like almost at first place, but I think this was the one that really resonated the most with both of us, and we were most eager to tackle the topic. So congrats again to E-Money, and thanks again to everyone. And you know what? On that note, though, before we get into this, this probably is not going to be a one-time thing. It's probably not going to be a regular as like, every Friday, Free Stuff Friday. Right. But, every so often we'll do something like this, and it probably won't always be the same, like, topic suggestions. And we're always going to welcome and appreciate any topic suggestions. We've got plenty to last us a good while, but there might be stuff someone you might think about that we haven't thought of. So definitely continue to suggest any topics you have in mind, or if you have a question or something like that. On that note, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm kind of brain farting right now. Sorry, it is late. I am tired. What was I going to say?
Is it about our subject? Who we're done?
Subject.
The same character?
I don't know. I guess maybe it'll come back to me. I'm still struggling here. Anyway, all right, maybe it'll come back. Oh no, I was just going to continue to say, like, for the giveaway contest, we'll come up with different things you can do to try to win. This just happened to be the first one. So look forward. If it's something you're into, if it's fun, I love the interactivity of it. It's like, it's not really about the giveaway. It's about presenting some opportunity to get really interactive, or to really encourage that interactivity. So, all right, about the topic. Wow. Multiple versions of a character. I mean, it's like when you think about any popular character and the myriad of toys and collectibles available for that character, man, so many great opportunities to hoard. Right? To feed that hoarding. I joke about it. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm just joking about it. But so how do you feel about do you and I have a couple examples here. I'll get more into that later, but how do you personally feel?
I mean, okay, so with me lately, with the way I practice on stuff, guys, and Mark knows it, Well, just recently, remember the fear of missing out on stuff? What did I tell you this week? I canceled the pre-order for the it was the Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That Mikey. Like I pre-ordered it. I was like, dude, I really need it. I'm like, no, I don't really need it because I already got the Mikey that I like. It's the one, I love that one. The one from the NECA series.
Kudos to you for doing that.
But I do have the '90s movie Mikey that I haven't opened yet. But there's a difference between those two. One's animated and one's the live action.
And they're both. And when you think about it, they're both that actually you have a connection to from there's that nostalgia. Mm-hmm. The other one is based on that really new animated movie with it was the Batman versus Ninja Turtles or something like that. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I need to see it. I really want to. I was excited when they announced toys, even though I hadn't seen it. I just think that, man, that's such a cool crossover in a really interesting animated style. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I wonder if it's still available. But it's like I'm still on the fence because I'm like kind of like you. So you pulled the trigger, but then realize you don't need it. I'm still on the fence because I want to be able to, if I decide to pre-order it, know that I actually really want it. Which right now, still kind of on the fence. Who knows? Maybe if I see it, I might change my mind. It might instantly be like, I need these. But at the same time, even if I liked it so much, I have to think to myself, well, does it fit in with the rest of my collection? Because, for me, that's a big part of it, is things that will all go together in a big kind of like toy universe. And those are very stylized, very... if I remember, at least from seeing the trailer and pictures, they're true to the character designs in that particular movie. Mm-hmm. And we may never see them look like that in anything again. And so there aren't going to be other figures in that same style. Right. So for me, that's kind of a big downside to them. If I'll only be able to use them, just with those, set of characters or set of figures, kind of like, probably don't need them, Like even with the NECA Ninja Turtles, the classic animated 2-packs that are out. They're like, as cool as they are, and these are, and I got to mess with yours, as amazing figures as they are. If I knew they were never going to make any more and it wasn't going to be a continued line, with more characters, that probably would be enough for me to not need them, because if I'm not gonna, you get a great set of essential characters. Of course, mm-hmm. You get the 4 brothers, and then you get a couple Foot and Shredder, like the mm-hmm. most essential, villain, and then Krang. Yeah. So it's like, you get a good kind of essential set of characters there, but it's like, what? I need April, mm-hmm. Casey Jones. Bebop and Rocksteady, and they are coming. So while I haven't gotten them yet, it is on my to get list eventually. But going back to the topic at hand, it's really interesting when you think about it, because there's probably a few ways to look at it as E-Money actually presented. There's like, if you have a character, and here's my example here, Suicide Squad Harley, if it's sporting the T, but you have a character you love so much that you're gonna buy, like, not just multiple versions of action figure, but various other toys, and she's probably my one character that I'll get, like, almost every version that I could. Like, I'm not going to have every version out there, but at least as much as I could. And I've got a lot of versions of the Suicide Squad Harley that I'm not even showing here. I have a little plush version. I have the Funko version. It was like a rock candy or something like that. There's another kind of, I forget. I don't know if it was Funko, but there was another like bobblehead version of her. So across the board, anything like Suicide Squad Harley, especially in this particular look, I will get. So that's my example. But then there's just the figure itself. Just in the 6-inch alone, there have been multiple. I've got here the SH Figure Arts version that's got a shout out to the bro, Steven, aka Monkey King 702. He hooked me up with this SH Figure Arts Harley. As much as I wanted her, I probably would not have gotten her. Like, I would not have bought her. And she's an amazing figure. I already had the Mafex version. So that's like, man, that's two versions nearly identical, just varying a little in height and I don't want to say quality, but like design. Both imports, both, higher end and expensive. Both in the 6-inch scale, but then there was also like the DC Multiverse versions, which were crappy. But in the DC Multiverse line alone, there was like, I want to say 3 or 4 versions of her. There was her in this outfit, one with and one without a jacket.
Did they do one where she was in her jail cell outfit?
I don't think.
How about that night dress that she wore?
There's that. Mafex did that, a good version, and in DC Multiverse, actually, it was an Amazon exclusive. Throwing back to that exclusive topic we recently talked about, which is funny because I remember pre-ordering that. That was a case of an exclusive I had to have because it was.
That's what we forgot in that video. Amazon, they get
Amazon exclusives.
They got that 3-pack of the Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
Came out.
And then there's the Black Series coming out later this year in a few months. The Palpatine or the Emperor. Which I actually have that pre-ordered. But yeah, so I remember when the dress version of Harley went up for pre-order, I pre-ordered her, and now you can get her like stupid cheap. I don't know how much she is right now, but I remember not long ago I saw her on Amazon. She was like $6 shipped, and I paid like full price at pre-order.
Wait a minute. Back to Charlie Upper. Another Palpatine? You're gonna do another Upper? How many Emperors did he make?
Well, that's actually in line with this topic, but I'm like, wait, I don't think they've done a Black Series.
Have they? I could have thought they did already.
Do you guys know? Comment down below. No, I don't think they have.
Should just do a 2-pack with him and Darth, and then you can have Darth throwing him over there.
No, or a 3-pack with Luke as well. That'd be kind of cool. Have they done?
Getting off subject.
Yeah, well, no, yes and no, because at the same time we're talking about multiple versions of a character. Because imagine if they did release them in a 3-pack with
and
Vader.
It's Star Wars because E-Money was asking his
yeah.
Fett, right?
Yeah. So like, okay, let's jump back in the topic real quick. Say your favorite character is Boba Fett. Countless Boba Fett figures, right?
Hell, I can think about it right now. Back at my place, I have it's a knockoff minifig of the Legos, right? Because you get to conventions. I got that. I have a 3 1/4-inch figure with a slave one in the box that I haven't opened it. Probably gonna open it this week now to talk about it. And then I have
Corner. No, just kidding.
the 6-inch, the ones where they re-released them after they got
yeah.
I found that one at GameStop. Corner of it's a little screwed up, but that I probably.
Who cares about the box? You're gonna open it.
I probably won't open that one because it's a 6-inch. You can't. I'm like, it looks better in the box.
Okay.
I'll probably open the 3 1/4-inch that comes with the slave one.
Order. No. But so I'm curious if anybody knows or if you know. So the recent archive re-release, archive Black Series archive re-release of Boba Fett. Is that identical to the original Black Series release, or did they do something different?
You guys have to know that.
Yeah,
because I never had the original one.
I'm not sure. I never found the original, and when they first came out, I was opposed to collecting the 6-inch Black Series.
And more power to E-Money for being. That's his favorite, Star Wars character. That's probably one of the hardest ones sometimes to get the stuff.
Yeah, because it's so
out in the wild. Good luck. It's tough.
But yeah. So I mean, this is both like hypothetical, but an actual question. Feel free to answer. Do you collect? Like, say your favorite character is Boba Fett, or for like me, like the Suicide Squad Harley. Are you gonna get every version of the character? But not only like every kind of toy they put out, but like again, like Boba Fett, like. I was almost like, am I going to say it? Because it sounds kind of crazy. Like, if you got the original Black Series one, let's say hypothetically you're a sealed collector, and the archive version is exactly the same but different packaging, do you get both? You know, it's like, do you need both? You don't really need both. I'm going to answer for you. You don't need both. But do you get both? Because that's the kind of collector you are when it comes to multiple versions. You love the character. The figure itself is no different. Different packaging. You know, are you going to get both? Or like I was thinking about, like in Marvel Legends, there's been recent like re-releases, but you know, slightly different. Like the yellow and brown Wolverine that came in the Juggernaut wave. Yeah. So there was that. That was, I believe, their first version of that. But then, not too long, well, I don't know how many months in between, they released the retro series, which was around the cars, like the Toy Biz style packaging.
Really smart them.
To use so it's like, and that, I believe that original Wolverine kind of became hard to find, and his value went up. But then you got a second chance with the retro version, which so it's slightly different, right? Colors were slightly different.
The color scheme was just a tad bit different, and then you got the different head sculpt with the cowl.
Yeah.
And then did they give you a different pair of hands where you could where the claws weren't out?
Oh.
I don't know if they.
I don't remember.
Maybe they did, or you could just always pop them out.
I don't remember, but no, I do think the original, the Juggernaut Bath wave one had different hands, but the retro version didn't.
It's the head sculpt.
Yeah, but so in that case, do you get both? Right. Do you, like, if you had the original, do you still need this updated, or I don't want to say updated, but this re-release with some variations, or is it like you missed out on the original, so you're getting the retro version?
Right.
But you know, and how do you feel like needing just to have just because it's another release of the character, even though you don't actually need it? Do you just, you know, is it how much do you actually need it? What are some other examples?
Well, going back in that way, the Build-A-Figure Juggernaut. They just re-released the same Juggernaut in a 2-pack with Colossus, but the only other thing I can think that's different, maybe the hand sculpts, and then the helmet. They have one of the helmets that's getting damaged, right? And it's like all exposed or whatever. So is it really worth it for you to go that route again? Yeah, you know? Like,
are you the type, even if you already had the original one, do you get this version because it has, you know, some added differences? The colors, I want to say, actually are better.
Yeah,
I think that plus he has the unhelmeted head plus the damaged helmet and everything. So do you get both? Or see, now me personally, what I do is in these cases, when I already have the figure and there's another, even just slightly different, but if I feel like it's a better version, I'll get rid of my previous one. I remember in anticipation of the retro release of Wolverine, I actually had the original Juggernaut series Wolverine, and then as soon as the retro one was announced, I sold it. I threw him on eBay. I got rid of him. Same with Juggernaut. I haven't gotten the Juggernaut 2-pack yet with Colossus, which, oh man, looks amazing. And that Colossus is a must-have as well. But I haven't gotten it yet. But once they were announced, I actually right away I put up my Juggernaut up for sale. So that's what I do. I would never want to keep multiple versions of a figure that are so similar. Yeah. You know, and I rarely, I think E-Money even mentioned this in his comment about like a definitive version of a character. That's me personally. I tend to try to keep just a definitive, what I think for me personally is a definitive version of the character. So it's like in my Marvel Legends collection, you know, I'll try to have only one of each character. Yeah. Although the exception there, this is just me, is because I keep the MCU and the comic stuff separate. So, you know, I might have two versions of Captain America because one's a comic version and one's the MCU. But then therein lies where I will only keep what I feel is, or, you know, my personal definitive version. So there's been countless, like, MCU Captain Americas
Yeah, I was
already.
gonna say that's kind of funny as you bring up Captain America, and that's my favorite Avenger, one out of the group. Yeah, for the MCU, there's a lot. Think about for First Avenger, Winter Soldier.
Yep.
All the Avengers movies.
Yeah.
They always had one figure.
And then
just like, damn.
I think it was going back to like talking about Amazon exclusives. I think it was an Amazon exclusive. The pack that had Cap, Iron Man. Was it 3? And then but they were like battle damaged.
Oh yeah. So I think Spider-Man was in that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They had battle damage on that one.
So there's that. I remember I had for both that Cap and Iron Man, I had the original releases of the figures, and then I had that with the battle damage, and then I wrestled with myself for a while. I was like, do I really need? Because it's identical, although they came with the alternate heads without the mask or the helmet on. So that was kind of a reason to keep them, but at the same time, like it's identical, just battle damage. Do I really need this? So I ended up letting go of the battle damaged versions of these.
Yeah, like for me, I think if I needed to have an MCU Captain America, I'd probably want that one from Endgame, the worthy one.
Yeah,
I want that. I still haven't found that
you
one.
haven't?
No. That's one I really.
I think I saw.
Yeah, if I need
right.
one, and I wanted to get one, that's probably the one I want.
Okay.
And it's cool because the way they packaged it, he's got a shield.
Yeah,
and you're like, where the Mjolnir? It sits behind it. It's
a lot of people
like,
don't even know that Mjolnir is there. It's behind the shield. I was lucky. I found that. If I see it, I'll grab it for you. But that's out of all the MCU caps, and there's been a lot, and they've most of them been really cool. For the most part, when it comes to MCU, not necessarily with the comic, but the movie ones, I'll always want whatever is the most current version or the latest version. So for me, that Cap in my Marvel Legends figures is my definitive version. But like if we go back to the comic ones, sometimes I will opt for. I don't care too much for the modern ones because I don't read the modern comics. So like for me, my versions will be like the '90s stuff. Which is great that
would be like
Marvel Legends is pumping out those '90s, pulling on those nostalgia heartstrings, but then I also, since I collect. Excuse me, let me take a sip of this Coke.
But don't forget, like Imanu was asking, like, because I even use that as an example, like, if that's your definitive one, you get that one definitive figure. Do you still need? If you collect, like he was saying, like a minifigure, like Legos. Do you need the Lego version? Like, if you have a 3 1/4 inch, like I do already at home, you already have a 3 1/4 inch that comes with the slave one. Do you need the slave one where they just redid it right now in Lego? It's like, it goes for like, I think it's like $90 or $100. It's the re-release of the original slave one that came out when they first brought them out. Which I remember I had that slave one.
I had the very first one too. That's actually exactly what I was going to say, because I do collect so many different kinds of toys and lines of toys. So in addition to action figures, I do Lego. I do mini-mates. I do, you name it, these little, what were these? Funko mystery minis. Yeah. Loyal Subjects action vinyls. Funko Pops. Like that. So I personally, of the characters that I like, if I collect different lines and that character exists in that line, I'm gonna get it. Like you said, with the Lego minifigures. Now the thing with Lego though, the sets themselves aren't always as essential for me. Just like I like figures, same with Lego. They're the minifigs. They're essentially just they're figures. They're just teeny tiny figures. So I focus more on the minifigs than sets. I used to really love the sets, but at the same time, I realized. What's that?
It's the time to put it together.
It's time consuming. Then after a while, I realized I don't really do a whole lot with the sets. Mm-hmm. Some are more useful than others, especially if they're like structures, for like diorama or photography or storytelling, stop motion animation purposes. There's stuff that are a little more useful than a bunch of vehicles that I'm not gonna do anything with. Especially with the Star Wars Lego, Lots of vehicles there, and I had a ton, including one that was a favorite of mine. One of my all-time favorite Star Wars vehicles is the Republic gunship. But guess what? I had the Lego Republic gunship. I also had the action figure, the 3 3/4 scale one, and I had the really cool. I forget what it was called, but it was from the original Clone Wars series. I think it was the Munilist 10 variation. It was like blue. People called it the tiger stripe, but if you do the Google or the Wikipedia research, it's actually the design. I forget exactly, but it was some sort of creature. It wasn't a tiger. I don't know if it was a rancor, but it was something. It was some Star Wars creature. It was not tiger stripes. Anyway, as much as I love that, and that's like one of my all-time favorite Star Wars vehicles, I let go of my Lego one. I let go of my action figure one. Yeah. They were both huge, and I didn't really play with them. I wasn't putting them to use. So I got rid of them. I kept I have the little Hot Wheels Star Wars Starships version. That's my version I keep. But yeah, so for me personally, I do kind of like, not just with my favorite characters, but just with characters that I'm into all across the board. Like, any given Marvel character, I'll have the Marvel Legends of it. Yeah. If there is not so much with Marvel anymore. But if I still collect like 3 3/4 or 4-inch scale of a character, or of a certain line, I will also get that character in that line as well. Like, I still do 4-inch Star Wars, alongside the 6-inch, which it's kind of overkill, but hey, that's me. That's the scale thing. That's a whole other topic. But I will get these characters all across whatever the varying lines are. Now, just to clarify, because I think I briefly mentioned it, what I still will, with any given line, try to only keep one definitive version of a character, or even in a scale. Harley is one of the few that I'll have like her figure in the same scale in various lines. But I'm also trying to keep, like, if it's a 6-inch scale, so you've got like, say with Marvel, there's various options. Marvel Legends is kind of like a good standard, but then there's also like Revoltech. Mafex is doing Marvel now. Mezco 112 Collective. So you've got all these options in the 6-inch scale for the same character, and often in the same costume. Like, look, Marvel Legends did the really iconic 90s Cyclops. Yep. But you've got your Mezco 112 Collective version, which they took some liberties. It's not like straight out like Jim Lee or the cartoon look or animated look, but based on that. But then Mafex is doing that very same Cyclops, and it looks like 10 times better. Which, when I saw that revealed, this is another case. Even though it's not like an updated Marvel Legends, it's an actual, like, it's a whole other, higher end figure. Like, I think it's gonna be like 80 or so bucks. Mm-hmm. When I saw him revealed, I sold my Marvel Legends one, which I got like $60 for him, which is pretty good. For a lot because he's a part of that Warlock. Yeah. And then we were just talking about before the video, they're gonna come out with that Jim Lee that 3-pack, which is Wolverine and updated Cyclops, which he's got the flight jacket on. Yeah. And then you have a new Jean Grey, which is cool. Jean needed to be released. Yeah, we haven't gotten that version. We had an older Hasbro one of her, which it's kind of outdated now, so it's great. We're finally getting updated. But I also was happy to see the re-release, or the kind of updated version of that Cyclops, because even though I had sold mine in favor of the eventual release of the Mafex one, I don't know when that Mafex one is actually coming out. It could be a good while, and I'm like, oh man, now all these 90s X-Men Marvel Legends are coming out, and I'm missing Cyclops. So nice to see we're getting another version of that 90s Cyclops that I can get a little sooner to tide me over. Plus that Wolverine, because I missed the original release of the yellow and blue, or the tiger stripe Wolverine.
The Apocalypse line.
What
There's an Apocalypse Line.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I got anything from that whole series, and I remember that was a series I was so excited for. I never got Apocalypse or any of those figures, so I missed out on the Wolverine, and then this re-release has some added stuff that the original one.
He's got like 3 different head sculpts.
Yeah. So there you go. Another case where I'm getting a second chance, but even if I had still kept those, or I'd gotten that Wolverine, or I would still get rid of them in favor of the new one coming out. So, yeah. What do you guys think? Is it do you personally do it also? Do you collect a bunch of different versions of a character? Whether it's different kinds of toys of the character, or just different slight variations in the exact same action figure line, or do you need just one definitive version of that character, even if it's just one kind of toy of that character? Do you think it's overkill? I've already mentioned how many examples that I have multiple versions of the character that sometimes when I say it out loud and I think about it, like, man, why?
I did the same thing. And that's why, like, my opinion on it now is like an advice that I look at it like, because if you're supposed to be the definitive one that you kind of have your joy and your love for it, like Mark was talking about how he wasn't using some of those ships, whether it be Lego or 3 1/4 inch. If you're not using it, I mean, you're not, it's not bringing you joy or value to your collection. So getting rid of them is fine. That's doing them out, right? But if you have that one figure and then you have another one, it kind of takes away your love and joy for that first definitive one, and you have to spread it out to the other one. So ultimately, I think we have one of your reviewers was talking about how he had like 5 different Devastators. And
there was Mark, what's up? If you're listening.
I had asked, is there a difference in the color scheme or anything? And he's like, no, they're all the same. I'm like, so like that's a good example.
Yeah. Really, I mean, they're like, I think several of them are like third party. 1 or 2 are like Hasbro or Takara, but they're still like that version of Devastator, like the classic like neon green. Even though there's Devastator in different colors.
If you're gonna use those 5 to do like a stop motion of it transforming, I could see that, but that to me would be kind of like overkill. Like you got to spread your love and joy for 5 different ones. I think you'll be fine on just one.
Yeah. Come on, cut it down. Pick your favorite version of that. For me personally, just because I'm OC about this and I don't do third party, because for me it has to be official product, I would go with the Hasbro one and then get rid of the rest. And let's face it, come on, those go for good money. So if you were to let those go, you get some good money for those, and then you can put that money towards hoarding some more figures. No. But yeah, come on, Mark, and then also come on down. You got to join us on one of these. He's local. He's a local dude.
Mark,
yeah.
Come on down, man.
Yeah. So yeah. Congrats again to E-Money. Shoot us your info so I can get this sent out to you. Thanks again to everyone else that participated.
Thanks, guys.
Really appreciate your suggestions. There's some really good ones. Like I said, we are excited to tackle all those. So we'll get to all of those eventually. Some of them, like at least a few, I think would only need like really brief answers. So we might do a video where like we go over several of them in one go, just because they're topics that don't really need a lot of discussion, but all great topics nonetheless.
Kind of like a lightning round, huh? We could do like a lightning round. Like a lightning round on those questions.
There you go. Yeah. You just thought of that, just now.
Just popped in my head. I was like, hey, there it is.
So we can do that, not only for those, but if there's other topics we think of later on down the line, or other topics you guys suggest, if it's ones that don't need such a lengthy discussion, that'd be a good way to just pack several into one round. So, you guys have anything else you wanted to add to the topic, man? Here's one, and this I'm gonna ask you, but this goes for any of you. If you're watching or listening, feel free to answer. If you know off the top of your head, what's the most amount of like figures or toys you have of one character? Or even just what's the character you have the most versions of?
Well, because you guys know I'm a big turtle fan.
Mikey.
Mikey's probably gonna be, yeah, right now.
Do you know how many?
I'm trying to count it in my head right now. I probably have at least maybe 6 to 7.
Okay.
Mikey. So I got.
Are these all just action figures, or also other kinds of toys, like like counting, like action vinyls, or things like this, and the Funko Pop?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. You're right. About 7 or 8. That's including.
Okay.
That's including like I got Mega Block figures, right? Because I have Mega Block sets, of course. These loyal subjects, Funko. Some of the Playmate, like that older Playmate figure I got signed.
Yeah.
One, right? I jumped into some of the new Rise of the Ninja Turtles. I got the Mikey.
Okay.
And it's cool because my great nephew, I gave him one of those and he opened it. He comes with a skateboard, and then it's cool because Playmates actually still has it where the skateboard's plain, and they give you a sticker sheet so that the kids can put whatever stickers they want design.
Okay, so side note, have you seen the show?
Yeah.
How is it? Because I don't have cable TV.
I mean, because I have the first couple episodes on DVD. I like it. I really enjoy it. It's a different take. I mean, it still has that whole like that. I think it still has the Ninja Turtle like attitude to it.
Okay.
But it's more. They changed it up a little bit because Leo isn't the leader right off the get go. Raph is, and then he's using those Tompas, but he will get the size I think this season.
Wow.
And then you still got, I mean, Donnie's still the brain, and Mikey's still, is Mikey. He's the party dude.
Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to borrow that off you because I loved the original Nickelodeon or the 2011 Nickelodeon Turtles.
And then the only other thing I can say that they did do differently is they have more of the mystical, like their weapons are mystical. Oh. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's just some stuff that a lot of people are like, I have to get used to it. I'm like, it's different, but it's a cool kind of refresh.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't completely opposed to it. I saw the character designs. I was like, ooh, these are very different.
April's different too. I mean,
yeah.
Used to, but times changed a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll check it out. But at the same time, it's almost like I don't want to because I don't want to like it and then want the toys. That's going back to like that whole media because I'm gonna collect. If I'm a fan of something, I'm gonna want toys of it. So like I said, even with the Batman versus Ninja Turtles, it's like if I end up loving it, then I'm gonna be like, I need the toys now. I need toys. I don't actually need them, but I'm gonna need them.
I think the only 2-pack out of that Batman versus the Ninja Turtles one that I want would be the villains. I just want the one that has Shredder and Ra's al Ghul.
You okay? My kid's at the door. Anyway, all right. So with that said, I guess we can wrap this up. Oh, let me answer my own question though. I don't know how many versions of Suicide Squad Harley I have. I have a lot. Again,
if you guys can't know how many, like offhand, just throw a number out.
But to be fair, that's the only character that I really like because I loved that rendition of Harley so much. I love Harley.
Answer of a hoarder for you.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I ain't denying it. I call you a hoarder. I'm gonna call myself a hoarder. It is what it is. But yeah, I love this Margot Robbie Suicide Squad Harley. I look forward to seeing her in the next one as very different as her look may be. But as far as the Suicide Squad version, I even have a statue, and I'm not a statue collector. Well, this looks like a statue. It's kind of a statue. It's a low price statue, but I have the actual DC collectibles. Only because I don't know if I would have gotten it still on her own. But it was in the DVD. It was another Amazon exclusive. It was the Amazon exclusive DVD Blu-ray with the DC collectible statue. I have multiple versions of Suicide Squad Harley across various kinds of toys. Like I said, even the plush, Funko Pop, this little mystery mini. I have the Mafex, I have the SH Figure Arts. I had all the DC Multiverse versions of her, but I recently sold all those in a big DC Multiverse a lot because those figures are not great. Let's be honest, those figures are kind of crappy. They've improved a little, but unfortunately, DC Multiverse is about to die. It's about to go bye-bye, even though they were finally kind of improving.
Well, if there's any of our viewers that have those multiverse figures and you guys are customizers, show us some of the stuff that you've done to them because I want to see the stuff that you can do out of those.
Yeah,
because I think they're a good base figure. It's just they just need more detail. I'm pretty sure some people have done some stuff to it to just be like, wow.
So you know what? That's funny you bring that up, and I don't think in all the times we've chatted on and off camera we've actually brought up like custom figures. That's actually going to be a great topic right there as well. Yeah. I don't do customs. Do you haven't messed with customs?
No, I haven't done them, but I've met people that have done them, and they bring them to the cons and
yeah.
And they have some really cool ones.
So that's something we'll probably. I'm trying to think. I don't have anything around me that's custom.
I love the Margot Robbie version and the the live action for DC, but me is always going to be the animated series just because that's where she came from. She got
and I remember I became a fan like from the start. I was watching that back in the day. But honestly, and see, I'm actually the opposite. I love this will always be iconic. And I remember when we caught a glimpse of her in the Suicide Squad in that look, and I was nerding out. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to see her completely in that outfit. For me, I'm trying to think of an example. It would be like seeing like 1970s Captain America, like comic book Captain America in the MCU. It's just even though it's not that old, it's 90s. It's so iconic, it's classic, but it's also outdated. Like for me, even if I were to overlook like the Suicide Squad movie Harley, like the next iconic version for me is like something more along the lines of like New 52 Harley. Even though I didn't read any of these comics, but just her, that's more modern iconic for me. And yeah, I would love to see that in other forms.
You know what I want to see on the MCU when it finally comes? I want to see the X-Men outfits. I want to see. Everyone's like, well, I don't know. Like,
why are you bringing so many other great topics?
I want to see that 90s. I don't care. I want to see that 90s costumes, man.
So,
I want the color.
Even though we're sidetracking here, that's going to be another great topic of discussion. We haven't even touched on like the all these Marvel and DC movies. We could have a whole talk on just
in the Wolverine movie. You remember the little Easter egg they threw in? He's opening a drawer in Japan, and it has the it's Wolverine's outfit. It's the brown outfit.
I almost forgot about that.
So you give us this bonus feature, but you never show us him in the outfit. Yeah. That's totally just.
So
that's just.
I wonder, but okay, I'm even gonna save that thought because that's got to be for that topic. We're gonna talk comic movies. Mm-hmm. And there's such a wide scope when you think about the history, because when you think about comic movies, you think mostly now of like the current ones, the MCU and the DCEU. But dude, think about the history of comic book movies. We've been getting comic movies for decades. They weren't great. Some of them were for their time. 89 Batman always will be one of my favorite movies, as dated as it is. But then there were some horrible ones. And still are some horrible ones, unfortunately, to this day. Like, why can't you get it right? But yeah, so that's going to be another topic. So man, even though we're sidetracking, just out of nowhere, we came up with several other topics: comic movies, the custom figures.
I'll be taking notes when I rewatch this later.
Yeah. The doctor,
you want to know the one's really going to kind of blow both of our minds? Is they're doing the crossover? They're going to do TMNT with Power Rangers. Supposedly, that's what I've been hearing. I'm like,
don't
mess
with my emotions.
I don't know what Power Rangers is, but I was like, TMNT with Power Rangers. All right,
that's gonna be. I hope that's a thing.
Because that's what happened.
It's not just a rumor you heard.
Well, me and Ethan talked about it. At the end of the 80s, going into the 90s.
What's up, Ethan? I don't think he's watching this, but
at the end of the 80s and then the 90s, a lot of people that were leaving Turtles were going to the Power Rangers.
Yeah. And they have crossed over in the past.
We need a new crossover.
Dude, that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. So yeah, a couple topics for future talks. multiple figures to hoard. Congrats again to E-Money. I just thought of shout out again to Ellie. Yeah, you guys are gonna hear more about her. Ellie and Steph, I know it's like, why am I mentioning them? There's reason. There's gonna be stuff. But I mentioned Ellie now because I just think about, we were talking about custom action figures. She does custom action figures. So yeah, more on her to come. But yeah, let us know how much you hoard your favorite characters.
Just collect what you guys love. If you see that you have 5 or 6 of them, a certain thing in your collection that's the same, you probably don't need 5 or 6.
Yeah.
You probably can get rid of a couple of them.
I honestly think you don't even need both Marvel Legends brown and yellow Wolverines. Pick one. If you've got both for whatever reason, like the second one came with some extra stuff, get rid of the first one. You know. Again, going back to it for a second, I want to say, like I mentioned, for all my comic Marvel Legends, I will as much as possible keep only one version, but there will be some exceptions. So I remember there were 2 versions of Punisher, for example. There was the original one, which was a Walgreens exclusive, and then they released them in the retro series. And I had both. I think I kept both for a long time, but I think I recently let go of the second one just because they're almost identical. Do I really need both? So I got rid of one.
Had more weapons, and then they had a few more different things on the costume.
But still, for almost the same. And then I have the Mezco 112 Collective, but that's a different line.
That's the one to keep.
Yeah. But at the same time, Hasbro at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, revealed another upcoming Punisher, which just looks badass. It's almost like he's a comic version of Netflix Punisher. He's like, I believe he's in a coat. I think even the skull on his vest looks a lot like
I think his face paint's camo, right? He's like
camo. Yeah.
I did see the picture of that one.
And so, in a way, whereas the previous Punisher was kind of like classic comic Punisher, this looks like a more modern. I don't know if he's actually based on, and it just looks like an updated. Oh, I guess we got cut off.
No, I got cut off.
Oh man, that sucks. I couldn't see the time because we were Okay. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna chop this up and throw it in the editor app. Maybe I will. Just since we kept talking, we exceeded 45 minutes, and a little notification came on my phone that we reached the maximum time. So yeah. So that's that. Lots of great topics on top of the topic that we're gonna continue those conversations at another time. Thanks again for coming, man. Really appreciate it. Thanks again for putting this up for the giveaway.
Thanks to the participants.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and as always, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you guys in the next one.